All right. So thanks for doing this with us. I guess to start, tell us, who you are, what team you play for, what position you play, your role in the team.
My name is Ryan Greenspan, play for San Diego Dynasty, and I kind of play all over the field.
Cool. So you guys are going back to JT. So what's it like going back to the brand that you guys grew up with?
Going back to JT, we grew up with JT. I won my first World Cup in 1998, and that was my first sponsorship from JT, was that World Cup. And then from then on, it's just been the company, it's been the pinnacle. It was the goggle, it was the jersey, it was the forefront of everything that you would want to wear. So going back to JT is really cool, because we were with them for the first 5 years of our pro career, and before that, my first goggle was a JT goggle, soft stream goggle, and then it was the Spectra, and then it was the Flex 7. And so I've been with JT, mentally forever, since I started playing paintball, And so going back to him, it's pretty cool. It's very nostalgic, and just the response from all of our fans and friends and everything, everybody loves it.
What was the initial draw to JT?
Well, initially to JT, the draw was just back when I started playing, that was really the only type of goggle you could get. There was one other company, there were two other companies really, and they were all pretty cool, and the goggles, but they were all very similar. Just JT was worn by the best guys out there. The Ironmen were the team that we looked up to, and they all wore JT. I remember when the first sublimated jersey came out from JT. We were playing at Mare Island, one of the locals, Billy Wing and Eric Roberts, both were wearing it, and we're just like, whoa, because it was all cotton mock turtlenecks before that, and then which I still loved. I want to bring those back, actually. I think that'd be a cool nostalgic piece, is to bring those printed, sublimated, cotton mock turtlenecks, the racing jerseys and the pro jerseys that they used to have. But that was the draw then, and the draw now is just, we owe it to JT to bring it back and revitalize it, and then bring it back to the youth. I know that I like to say youth because I still feel like youth sometimes. The gray hair up here will tell a different tale, but whatever.
So is JT and Dynasty proof that age doesn't matter in paintball?
Yeah, I would say age in paintball paintball is such a unique sport. It's the only team sport in the world where every player on the field has the ball, essentially. Everybody has a direct effect on the outcome of the game, but moreover, it's the only sport that is just non-discriminatory. Any person, doesn't matter their age, their height, their weight, their physical ability, their gender, none of that matters. Once you put the paintball gun in their hands, that's the great equalizer, as they say, and you again you can affect the outcome of the game just by yourself. And so the idea that there's a specific age limit in the game, we're definitely pushing the boundaries to that for sure. And JT, like I said, JT was one of the first paintball companies that went and brought it to the big screen, really. It just, with loud and bright and exciting stuff and products and jerseys. So our partnership coming back together, I think, is going to be huge to bolster both of us, right? We're going to be able to put new light and a fire underneath JT's, butt.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys once played in Europe and had a winning streak. Was there a lot of JT gear used over there, or did it ever catch on?
So over in Europe, we went on a 13 event winning streak out there for a while over the course of a couple seasons, and we were sponsored by JT. We had the Claw jerseys, we had the Dynasty jerseys. We had it all. I believe that even those funny Flex 7s, or what was the ones that you could adjust the ears backwards, the Proteus. We even wore those out there, and tons of players out there really caught on to JT. And Europe was a little different because they have their own small companies and things like that, but JT was the worldwide brand. It was the biggest name in paintball, and I still think that it is. We just got to now remind the youth what JT was, because everybody who's been a Dynasty fan since 20 years ago is still a huge paintball fan and a huge JT fan. They've just been holding on to all their stuff in their garage waiting for us to come back.
Did you have your OG ProFlex stuff?
So I actually didn't hold on to any of my old stuff from JT, unfortunately. I do have 2 of my jerseys from Cap Factory from like 99. I still have those jerseys, but I didn't really hold on to any of my flex stuff just because a lot of it kind of gets lost in every move, every decade. I never had a home base for a really long time, but I don't know, maybe I go up to my mom's house and see if I have any stuff in the attic, but right now I'm just getting leave behinds from other Dynasty fans over the years.
Well, you guys are bringing on 2 new players to the team this year, which is uncharacteristic for Dynasty as a team. So what does it look like for you? What's the hierarchy process of you guys deciding who to bring on the team and why they would be a good fit?
Well, so we picked up 2 new players in the offseason, we went early. We went, as soon as World Cup was over, we announced 1 pickup, and then we worked on our second one, Archie, throughout the next month or so. We wanted to be aggressive in the offseason, so we weren't kind of left at the end, just in case we lost some players, and you just want to be more aggressive, and we were in a position that we could. Fortunately for us, Archie really likes us still. He used to play on the team before, and things were still cool, I guess. And we also it didn't hurt that we just won 2 World Cups back-to-back, 2 series champions back-to-back, and a back-to-back NXL events. So that helped our street cred a little bit when we were trying to court Archie to come over. And then Damian, we need youth on the team. The average age of the team is slowly but surely creeping up with every year. And we need younger players for their athleticism. It's just good to have a new mindset on the team as well, to help with feedback. And we all talk about it. Kevin, our coach, has been really instrumental in really pushing for guys. He's like, that kid Damian played really well for us in practice. When he stepped in one time, I think we should pick him up before someone else does. And it'll just help. It's going to keep an extra body in there. We had a lot of injuries in 2022. We had a lot of injuries in 2021. And it's just better to have depth, I think.
So if you were a betting man, would you bet that Oliver's coming back?
So I guess you could call me a betting man. Not so much. I'm not a big time betting guy, but I would say Oliver will come back, not to play, but I think he's going to come back and grace us with his presence and hang out with us, hopefully at an event, really stir some things up. I'm confident that if Oliver came back and we put him in his old gear and handed him a force or even an angel, he would dominate.
So what was the dynamic change when Skinny Kevin came in? What did he bring?
Well, when we picked up Skinny Kevin as a coach, so Kevin had coached us before, and about 3 weeks prior to the first NXL event of 2021, Rusty was like, "Hey guys, I can't coach you guys this season." So we kind of left us in a little bit of a tough position based on who we were going to get in such short notice. So we kind of put together a quick list. The guys talked about it a little bit, and we're like, let's see about Kevin. So I texted Kevin. I said, "Hey, what are you doing next weekend? You want to coach us and possibly for the rest of the season?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't make it this weekend. I'm going to Cabo, but sure, that sounds like fun." And I was like, "Great," because Kevin, we've all stayed in touch, and Kevin's a good friend of ours. I mean, lives fairly close to me in San Diego, and so Kevin's just a really good guy, and he's fun. And what I love that Kevin brings to the table so first of all, he's known us for so long. He started Dynasty with us in 2001. Okay, so he's been there since the beginning. So he knows us very well. So he knows our personalities. So not only that, so he's able to really just manage us. Me, I guess also. Managing me has been proven difficult for some coaches, I guess. But managing everybody on the team and everybody's dynamics and their just everything about them, right? And he just doesn't take any shit. He'll just put you in a place and say, "Look, I don't care about this, or I don't care about that. We need to focus here." So bringing the attention together, bringing everybody onto one focal point is really important. And he's just fantastic at that.
So you mentioned managing me. Tell us about that.
So I feel that I know a good amount about paintball. I'd make a great coach, but I'm also playing and I'm seeing what's going on out there. I'm processing this, and so I have an idea. Marcelo has an idea. Alex has an idea. Yosh has ideas. He usually just kind of waits strategically when he wants to play those ideas. But everybody's got ideas on how and what should happen. And because paintball is such a complex game, everybody's opinions come out, and that's oftentimes when you see kind of arguments and stuff. And we've been fine-tuning and honing our abilities on the field for decades. So when I feel like I have an idea and I have a strong opinion about that, I'm gonna want to make sure that it's heard. And so I guess I can be difficult to coach sometimes.
Cool. Well, I guess tell us what you're most excited about going back to JT. Is it the gear, the people?
So that's a great question. What I'm most excited about going back to JT, and I'm glad that you mentioned the people, our fans. The collectors in JT are the people who prop up our sport. Those are the players who prop up our sport. They're the fans. And, you know, we've had fans from when we started the team in 2001 who were 16, 17, 18. You know, they're turning 40 with us coming up here soon. We had fans that were in their 30s and 40s back then who were grandfathers. So our fan base, and now a new fan base, someone watching this right now for the first time who's just experienced Dynasty winning World Cup in 2021 is going like, I want to get what they're wearing. I want to wear JT. I want to get this mask. I want to get that. So we have, you know, generations of fans essentially spanning across the, you know, decades. And I'm excited about putting this stuff on. When I put my ProFlexes on, the first thing I did, it was just the breathability, how comfortable the foam is, all that stuff was just really, really cool to remember. And you know, the gear changes all the time, but those goggles have not changed. You know, they're the perfect goggle that was made in the 90s with a couple of tweaks, and they're the same perfect goggle that we're wearing still today. And that says a lot about the product right there. So yes, I love being able to put those goggles back on. I'm excited to put the new jersey on. Everything seems well made, and I'm really excited about putting our design ideas into play as far as like some new pant designs and whatnot. But the fans are the big thing. You know, we've got such an outpouring of, just when we put our jersey on, so many people are commenting and messaging us like, you guys look so great. This is what Dynasty was when I remember it. This is how Dynasty was when I was a kid. We had people out there at practice today. You know, someone gave me a pair of white Dynasty ProFlex frames with some blue bottoms to match. And he's like, I've been holding these in my garage for, I don't know, when they came out 15 years ago. And he goes, I don't wear them anymore. I want you guys to wear them. These are your goggles. And just the fan base that has just had the products, the backpacks, like all the cool gear that's been sitting in people's garages in collector's boxes, really. And guys are like, we want it to go back to their rightful owners. Like you are the guys who, you know, brought JT to the forefront and like propelled JT to like the masses and made it huge. And so with the help of JT down here in San Diego all those years ago, we're just excited to bring it back home and you know, introduce it back to all of the younger generations of players and kind of like get everybody excited about it again, because you know the hype is real and there's a reason why people have been collecting. People have 20 frames, JT frames, and it's because they're the best.
Very cool. Well, thank you for doing this with us. We're going to kind of skim through a couple extra questions while the camera's rolling, so we can kind of mix them in. So,
would you want to confirm for people what JT really, like the original meaning? Like we're going back to the inception of JT. And
like TJ backwards?
Yeah. Would you do you want to confirm what the original JT meaning really was?
So, to my understanding, the name JT, because JT was down in Chula Vista and they were making little straps and things for racing, the owner, John Gregory, was having a lot of stuff made in Tijuana, and the acronym for Tijuana is TJ, and so he just put that backwards and made it JT Racing, and then it was JT USA, and then it was JT Paintball. So I believe that it's just TJ for Tijuana, and they swapped it and made it JT. I think they were making socks at first, and then it was straps and a bunch of racing stuff for motocross, and then it was paintball.
Are we going to see any more JT exclusive or Dynasty exclusive JT stuff?
Yeah, so another thing that I'm really excited about is creating Signature Series lines of products for JT. And JT, everybody over at JT, John and all the guys have been very receptive. Like, hey, what do you guys think about this? We want to get this in the works. Like, how about tanks, new jerseys? We've got goggle straps, goggle frames, pants, everything. But they want to make everything across the board, brand it with JT and Dynasty, and then just again revive the JT brand with mixing it with Dynasty. So I'm really excited to see what's to come. I love being able to give my input. Like I said, we're working on pants, we're working on this, that, and the other thing, and we're gonna make sure that everybody out there gets their own taste of JT and Dynasty if you like it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this with us.
Killer. Thank you guys.